the Belt Road and Initiative, which is introduced in 2013. Xi Jinping. It is earlier known as the One Belt, One Road Initiative, and now it is known as the Belt and Road Initiative. It's aimed to revive the ancient Silk Route and global connectivity through the road, railway, ports, pipeline, and digital infrastructure. It has two components, which is one is the Silk Route economic belt, which is a land route connects the Central Asia, Europe, and Middle East. And another one is 21st century Mediterranean Silk Route, which connects the sea routes from the South Asia, Indian Ocean, East Africa, and Mediterranean Sea. Let's see its location. Here is the China, which connects the Middle Asia, and then it connects the eastern part of the Europe, and then ultimately it connects the European countries. And in the 21st century Mediterranean Silk Route, which connects the South Asia, then goes to the Indian Ocean, then connects the Eastern Africa countries, and then goes Mediterranean Silk Route, Mediterranean Sea, and then ultimately it connects the European countries. The major six corridors are here. One of the most important is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, connects the Pakistan and China with the border port. Border port plays an important role. Its location is, it started from the China and so passes to the Pakistan, and then ultimately it goes to the border port. Next is New Eurasian Land Bridge, which is passes to the China, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Europe, which is here. Here is the China, and then passes to the Kazakhstan, then Russia, and then ultimately goes to the European country. And next is China Central Asia West Asia Corridor, which is passes through the China, Central Asia, and Middle East, which is the downward roads, and this goes from China, then Central Asia, then Middle East countries, and ultimately to the European country. China Indonesia Peninsula Corridor, which connects the China from the South Asia. Here is this corridor, and next is the China Myanmar corridor, which is also situated here, which goes from the Mediterranean Sea and then connects to the which goes from the Indian Ocean, then connects to the Mediterranean Sea, and then ultimately to the European countries. And next is China Mongolia Russia corridor, which goes from the it is a Trans-Siberian Railway, which is the longest railway, and the Russia. And with the help of this corridor made possible. In the China, then it passes to the Mongolia, and then Russia, and ultimately it joins to the European border. Now its criticism and India's countermeasure. Its major criticism is debt trap diplomacy, which is the in which the countries which has no large did not have the large funding, the China provides an infrastructure loan. With the help of that loan, China gained the strategic leverage, and if the country cannot pay, the important assets can be taken from their countries for their China's own it. The Hambantota port of Sri Lanka is an best example. And why India opposes the BRI? India opposes BRI because of the sovereign issue. The China-Pakistan economic corridor passes through the POK, and which is the Gilgit-Balochistan, and India considers this as a violation of the sovereignty and the violation of territorial integrity. Other concerns are the debt trap diplomacy, strategic encirclement, which means the threat from the surrounding countries, and growing China's influence in the now the world. India's position: India is not signing yet the BRI. India has also its alternative BRI, which is IMEC, India Middle East Corridor, and then INSTC, International North-South Transport Corridor, PGI, Partnership, Sustainable Partnership, Global Infrastructure and Investment, which is G7. It is launched in 2022. It is the main aim to sustainable infrastructure development. INSTC, International North-South Corridor. Founding members are Iran, Russia, and India. It has in this corridor, the Chhabra port was a major important, and Jawaharlal Nehru port also played an important role in this. And it was developed around 2000 century.